we'll start sharing the PowerPoint presentations. Okay, what we are learning is about the competitive market, okay? We're going to continue learning about the characteristics of a competitive market. We're going to learn about how these companies establish prices, how long can these companies make profits, and what is the benefits to the economy when we have companies like this. In other words, how society benefits from having this type of companies in the market, okay? So let's continue. What we know is this, guys, that it doesn't really matter on which industry we are talking about. If there's profits in the industry, these always act like a beacon. Competition is going to be attracted into an industry if the industry is showing profits. So profits always attract new players, and these new players is going to increase the supply in that market. So in an industry, if the supply is increasing, then we know that prices are going to start decreasing because now there are more sellers of the same product, right? So again, profits attract competition, competition increase the supply, and this increase in supply eventually is going to have an impact in profits, and profits are going to decline because the prices have declined. Okay, so when prices begin to decline because there's new competitors, think about this, when there's new competitors, prices begin to decline, then some companies go out of business. Some of them can be old companies, some of them can be new companies, it doesn't really matter. Some of them go out of business. Then once companies go out of business, the supply decreases, and then prices begin to go up. Well, in this chapter, we're going to try to understand specifically the perfectly competitive market and the behavior of these companies in this industry, okay? For example, how are prices determined in a competitive market? Well, the prices are determined simply by the forces of supply and demand. The company itself, one company itself has no power over the market. So then the price is determined by the interactions of all the consumers in that industry and all the producers in that industry. So supply and demand in the industry determines the price of a perfect competitive company. Okay? So again, very simple. We already know how it works. So it goes like this. In a perfect competitive company, for some reason, let me see if this will work. Okay, there it goes. Okay, on a perfect competitive industry, you know, the forces of supply and demand determines equilibrium prices. You already know this, that supply and demand determine prices. So for perfect competitive companies, all these companies, this is the aggregate demand and this is the aggregate supply, are going to determine the price of this company. So then a perfect competitive company has no choice. They have to sell the product at the price that the market has already predetermined. So if the price is going to be 20, this company has no choice. They're going to have to sell the product for $20. So then for these companies, the only decision left is how many units they're going to produce, right? It's a review. We already went over this yesterday. So we're going to try to understand how the prices are determined. We're going to try to understand how profits impact the industry. And then what do we gain by having this type of companies, okay? So each company supplies their own output, and each company has different cost of production. So now think about this. Let me see if I can explain it in this way. According to the rule of production, we say that a perfect competitive company is always going to stop producing where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. So for example, in this company right here, this is the marginal revenue of 20, and this is the marginal cost. If this company has a marginal cost like this, then this company is going to produce, let's say, 100 units, right? But if we have another company over here, and this company also has to sell the product for $20, but if this company has a different marginal cost, probably the marginal cost is like this. Well, for this company, they're only going to produce 20 units. Now let's assume this is company 1, This is company 2. Let's assume that we have company 3, and company 3 has a marginal cost curve that looks something like that over here. Well, then this other company is going to produce, let's say, 120. So then if we really think about it, the total supply in the economy, in this case, is going to be 100 from company 1, 20 from company 2, and 120 from company 3. So the total supply is going to be 240. So then this supply in the market was determined by the individual marginal cost. So then marginal cost of all firms determines the actual supply that is going to be produced in the economy. And this is what this slide is trying to tell you. The market supply then is the sum of the marginal cost curve for all the companies. Okay? So some companies are very efficient, and if they are efficient, then they have lower cost of production. So that means that the marginal cost curve is a little bit lower. Some have higher cost, right? And again, some companies use technology and so on. So based on this, then the amount of products in the market is going to be affected by other factors, right? Not only the productivity of the company, but also the technology available, the expectations of the companies, and taxes and subsidies, okay? So what we know about profit competitive companies is this, and you have to remember, it is very easy to come into this industry. There's no barriers to entry. If you are selling oranges, and I know that orange producers are being very profitable, then I'm going to go and try to become an orange producer. If you are selling milk or you are selling eggs, and I realize that you're making a living by selling eggs, then I'm going to go into that industry because there's a lot of information. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows how much this price of these products are. They already know how much profit they are making. So as a result of this, then in a perfect competitive company, and that's the key, perfectly competitive, it's very easy to come into this industry, okay? So when more companies enter into the industry, because now there are profits, the market supply shift and prices begin to decrease. And as prices begin to decrease, then profits begin to decrease, and it's possible that the profits become zero. So then in an industry in which there's no profits, then there's no desire to come into this industry. Think about this. There's no desire. I mean, why should I go into an industry in which the profit that I'm going to be making is just a normal profit? It's like, why would I take the risk of opening a restaurant when the amount of money that I'm going to be making as an owner of a restaurant will be the same amount of money that I can earn by just working for a company without taking that risk? So, I mean, this is just common sense. Profits attract competition up to the point in which profits disappear. Once there's no profit, then I don't want to go into that industry, okay? So economic profits draw new firms. Supply shift to the right, economic decreases, no more players coming to the industry, in the market begin to stabilize, and now at these points, economic profits become zero. On the other hand, if economic losses are being experienced, then companies are going to get out of business. And it looks something like this. Okay, this is the industry, and this is the total supply and demand. The price is $20. We have three companies here. Well, let's say we have two companies right here, and they have no choice. They have to sell the product for $20. So they become the marginal revenue. The same thing for this other company, $20. This company is going to produce for marginal cost equals marginal revenue. This company is going to produce 100 units. Marginal cost, marginal revenue. Company number 2 has a marginal cost curve that also looks something like this. And this company is going to produce, all the way to right here. This company is going to produce, let's say, 120 units. Okay. This is marginal cost, and this is marginal revenue, okay? So now let's assume that this company over here, company number 1, has an average total cost that looks something like this, okay? And this company over here has an average total cost that looks something like this. an average total cost that looks something like this. So now look at this. Look at company number one. Look at company number one. Is company number one making money or losing money? Come on, guys. What's the rule? Stop producing
If their average total costs are below the marginal revenue, then they're making a little bit of money.
Exactly. In this case, you can see that this company is making a little bit of money. So let's say the average total cost is $18 for this company. So this company is making money. It's going to stay in business. Now this company over here, on the other hand, is what? Is losing money because the selling price is less than the average total cost. Let's say it's 21. So this company is losing money. Right? Now, if this company has an average variable cost like this, what is this company going to do? Are they going to close down? Are they going to go out of business? Nathan,
invest. They're going to close down short term.
Okay. It's the other way around. They're going to be open on the short run. They're going to stay in business for the short run, hoping that things will happen because at this point, the company is actually what? Making enough money to pay all the employees. So eventually this company is going to go out of business. Now, if we have another company, again, the same situation, $20. This is the marginal revenue. This is the marginal cost. But this company is not as efficient as the other one. This one has an average total cost that looks something like this and an average variable cost that looks something like this. Then what is this company going to do? Well, this company immediately is going to close down. Why is it going to close down? Because the selling price is not even enough to pay your what? Your workers. So this company is going to close down. This company is also going to close down on the what? On the long run. Because they're going to be opening business only for the short run. So this company also going to close down. This company is going to stay in business because they're making money. So what is the impact of all other companies in the industry? Well, two of those companies are going to go out of business. And when those two companies go out of business, supply decreases and boom, now price goes, let's say, to 23. Right? So now that becomes the new selling price. So now think about this company. This is the only company that stays in business at this point. So now the selling price is going to be 23, right? And boom, now this company is going to increase productivity. They're going to increase to 120. And now this company is making a lot of money, right? Because the average total cost is 18, they're selling for 23, so they're making $5 per unit. But once people realize that this guy or guys, there's a couple of companies doing like this, then that's going to attract competition. And then competition is going to be attracted and supply increases. And boom, supply increases and now the price becomes 17. So now the price becomes 17. Now this company is no longer what? Making profits. So as you can see, on a perfect competitive market, supply and demand move up and down, right? This up and down, right? Until eventually we're going to end up something like this. This is marginal revenue, price, marginal cost, and average total cost. Now, what can you tell me about this company now? Is this company making money or losing money?
Neither. They're at normal profit.
Exactly. They are making a zero economic profit. We call it, they are making a normal profit. So if there's no real economic profits, then nobody's going to be attracted into the industry. So on a perfect competitive companies, if there are profits, companies will be attracted. If there are losses, companies are going to go out of business. But if companies are only making a normal profit, then there's no desire for companies to come into the market, right? Or for companies to leave. So then what we have learned is that perfect competitive companies can make profits only on the short run. That's it. Perfect competitive companies can make money, profits only on the short run. Because on the long run, what do we know? Profits attract new suppliers. And new suppliers are going to put pressure on prices to come down. So as you can see, a perfect competitive company or perfect competitive industry is actually very competitive, very competitive, okay? So let's continue right here. So economic profits always are going to attract new companies. Supply shifts to the right, prices falls, economic profits decreases, then there's no interest for new companies to come. The market is stabilized, zero economic profits. If economic losses drive up firms, supply shifts to the left, prices goes up, and economic losses decreases, and then until the point in which no new companies come. So then on the long run, perfect competitive companies are only going to be able to make a normal profit or a zero economic profit. So now look at this. Let's look at the broken line, supply one and market demand right here. The price is P1. The price is P1. So that means that these companies can sell the product at P1. How many units is this company going to make? How much quantity? At a price of P1, the company is going to make Q1. Is this company making money or losing money?
They're making money.
Yeah, they are making money. Why are they making money, sir?
Because it's above the total cost.
Yeah, the selling price is above the average total cost, right? The selling price is right here. The average total cost is right here. So what impact is that going to have in the economy? It's going to attract new players. Boom, supply increases. Now we have a new equilibrium. Now it's piece of two. So this company is going to be able to sell this product only at a price of piece of two. Now, how many units is this company going to make now?
Q2.
Exactly. The rules say when marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So we're going to make Q2. Is this company making money or losing money?
They're still making money.
They're still making money because the price is higher than the average total cost. So then what impact is that going to have in the industry?
Continue to push the supply curve.
Yeah, supply is going to continue to increase. And supply continue to increase, right? And now price decrease, let's say to P3. So now this company can only sell a P3. So create a line right here. And now the question is this company making money or losing money at P3?
Neither.
Neither. They're only making a normal profit. So then as a result of this, then the industry begin to stabilize. There's new players, there's new entrants. There's no desire for nobody to come into this industry because there's not real profits there, okay? So what is the uniqueness of perfect competitive companies? Many companies, all of them are very small. They sell identical products. There's perfect information. The profit maximizing rule is stop producing where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. And remember, marginal revenue and price is the same. There's very low barriers to entry or to exit. And perfect competitive companies on the long run, they will only be able to make a zero economic profit. Okay? Any questions? No questions? Okay, so then in reality, there are very few markets that are perfectly competitive. There are few markets that are perfectly competitive. There are some that are very close to perfect competitive, but they are not perfectly competitive. And the best example that I can give you is the one that we have been discussing, that is agricultural producers. No, in other words, they are very close to this. They are not like 100% perfect competitive, but they are very close to this. That's why, for example, some agricultural producers have been trying to differentiate their products by telling you my product is better. For example, bananas are bananas. all the bananas come from the same place, from the equator, from Venezuela, or Costa Rica, or Colombia, or probably Brazil. They are bananas. But in the United States, we just don't consume any bananas. What type of bananas do we buy? In the United States, we buy chiquita bananas, right? In other words, an importing company, I think Dole Corporation, buys the bananas from South America, they bring in the United States, they put a sticker, and then they try to tell you that my product is different because it's better, because it's a chiquita banana. Think about the Florida producers. In the Florida producers, you know, there's a lot of them that sell oranges. But in the United States, we just don't buy oranges. What type of oranges do we consume? Give me brands of oranges.
There's a brand called Cuties.
Or Cuties, right? Think about coffee. Coffee is coffee, period. But in the United States, we say, this is real Colombian coffee. So the people of Colombia, they are trying to differentiate the product by trying to tell you that my product is better. Okay. Think about here in this part of the country. People drink milk here, but we just don't drink any milk. What milk do we consume here in Tennessee? Mayfield milk. And what is unique about Mayfield milk that is different than any other milk producers all over the United States? Have you ever thought about this? Okay, what state are you in? Any of you are out of state of Tennessee? Nathaniel, you're in Tennessee? Michael, you're in Tennessee too?
Yep.
And Sen, you're in Tennessee? And Alexa, you're in Tennessee too?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you have trouble? Hold on for a second. The phone is in the kitchen counter. Oh, okay. Sorry. My little girl is looking for my cell phone, you know, to play her Roblox. But I guess my wife already is hiding from her, so she's desperately looking for it. Okay, what was I saying? Milk in other places of the United States, you go to the grocery stores and milk comes in a white container. But here in Tennessee, milk does not come in white containers. It comes in what?
Yellow?
In the yellow container. Why is Mayfield milk more expensive? Because they have differentiated themselves. They have make you believe that the milk from Mayfield milk is actually better because it comes in yellow containers. And the commercial they give you is this. It has been scientifically proved that a yellow container actually protects the milk from the harmful sun rays, the ultraviolet rays of the sun, and keeps the milk fresher. My question is, how many of you leave your milk outside your house exposed to the sun? Look, I'm gonna tell you this. It's gonna blow your mind. Probably you can never believe this, but trust me, this is truth. When you close the refrigerator, the light inside the refrigerator turns off. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and try it during the break. Just close it really slow, really slow. Yeah, go ahead, sir. You know, Nathaniel went out and checked it. And close it really slow, Nathaniel, and you see that the light turns off. So there's no light inside the refrigerator. So then why do I need a yellow container? Right, but it's better. You know, I mean, think about people that buy cheese. You know, Wisconsin. What's the commercial from California? Happy cows, happy better milk or something like that. Or say the milk in California is better because it comes from happy cows. I mean, I don't know, probably it's right. I mean, smoking pot in California is legal, so probably, you know, the cows are happier, you know, and that's why the milk tastes different. You know, so you can see then on a perfectly competitive environment, companies have no choice. They try to differentiate themselves. Apples. We just don't buy any apples. What type of apples do we buy? come on, you want to buy apples, we call them apples from where the best apples come from? Washington, right? If we're going to eat potatoes, what potatoes do we eat? Anybody?
Idaho.
Idaho potatoes. Are the potatoes from Idaho different than the potatoes from Colorado? Are you following me? See? So then certain groups of people try to differentiate the products because they know that's the only way they can sell a product at a higher price. It's not where they say, hey, my product is not just like everybody else. This is just not potatoes. This is Idaho potatoes. Now, this is not just milk. This is Mayfield milk. This is not oranges. This is sun-kissed oranges. This is not just bananas. This is, Chiquita bananas and so on. Okay, so that's what we're trying to understand. That in a perfect competitive market, the market is very competitive, right? And companies know that they have to differentiate themselves because if not, they have no control over the market. So then the only power that they have is if they are able to differentiate themselves. Okay. So again, few or any market, if any, markets are perfectly competitive. So again, the existence of economic profits in a low entry barrier market always attracts new companies, which lower the price of the product. So then what companies will try to do, companies try to improve the production of the product by trying to lower the production cost. They know they have no impact over the price, so then what we'll try to do is try to reduce the cost of production to try to make some money. Okay, so let me go right here. Okay, I think we went this, and this. Okay, look at this company. This is in the computer industry. The industry provides this amount of computers, and this is the demand. So these companies are able to sell the product for $1,000. So then at $1,000, a typical firm right here, graph B, is going to produce how many units? At a price of $1,000, a typical company in this industry is going to produce
600
units. Is the company making money? This typical company, is it making money or losing money?
It's making money.
How much money are they making? How much profit are they making?
Looks like their marginal costs are at 700, so they're making $300 a unit at 600 units.
Okay, so then the company on the average total cost, not the marginal, but the marginal, the average total cost is about $700 per unit. On the average, it costs them $700. They can sell it for $1,000. So these companies are making $300 per unit. So it'll be 300 times 600. So this company is making $18,000 in profits. A typical company. What impact is that going to have in the industry?
Supply is going to go up.
Supply is going to go up, right? So supply begin to go up, and now boom, we end up at 800. The new equilibrium price. So now this company has no choice. They have to sell the product for 800. So now what's going to happen to the production? How many units are they going to make now? They're going to make, for marginal cost equals marginal revenue, they're going to make now 500. Is the company making money or losing money? They're still making money because the selling price, 800, is higher than the average total cost. So then these profits is still going to attract competition. So then the industry is going to be affected and new players are going to come into the market. Boom. Now the price is 700. So now that's the marginal revenue, marginal cost. Now the company is going to produce only 430. Is the company making money or losing money?
They're still making money.
They're still making money. How much money are they making?
$80 a unit.
$80 per unit. Right, so as you can see now it's $80 per unit. At the beginning they were making $300, right? But now it's only $80 per unit. So guess what? This is going to attract more competition, and now more competition is attracted, right? And now let's assume that competition is attracted, and we have a new supply curve, and now the price is 600. So now at a price of, I'm sorry, 620, let's say, at a price of 620. So at a price of 620, boom, now the company is only making a what? A normal profit. So then there will be no players coming into the market. So then for a perfect competitive company, there's a difference between the short and the long run. On the short run, a perfect competitive company can make profits. But on the long run, a perfect competitive company is only going to be able to make a, what is it called? Normal profit, okay? So if the price is higher than your average total cost, in other words, if your marginal revenue is higher than your average total cost, that means that you're making profits. So the industry is going to expand. But if the price is less than the average total cost, in other words, if your marginal revenue is lower than your average total cost, companies are experiencing losses, then companies are going to go out of business. If the price is equal to your average total cost, economic profits are zero. So there's no entry or exit into this industry because the companies are only making now a normal profit. So think about this. Let's go with the broken lines right here. The broken green and the broken blue. Is this company making money or losing money? At a price of 700. And as you can see, at a price of 700, we produce right here. This is the average total cost. So yeah, they are making profits. Now, remember this. Perfect competitive companies have no control over the price. But they have power of trying to become better at whatever they do. So if this company is able to reduce the cost of production, boom, they reduce the average total cost. Now they will be able to make what? More profits. So perfect competitive companies can make more profits if they become very, very efficient. And that's about the only choice they have, the only hope of continue making profits. Because it's possible that a lot of companies are only making a normal profit, but one, two, or few companies are making profits. But those companies that they're making profits, they will try to hide their profits. They don't want the other players or the other individuals to know they are making profits. And if you are successful in hiding your profits, then you can continue making profits without nobody else knowing, okay? So then, if competition drives prices below average variable cost, then the companies will just simply shut down. Because at that price, they are not even making enough money, not even to pay your average variable cost, right? So competitive forces, as you already know, drive products prices down. They make it more affordable for us, and they are more suppliers, okay? And again, perfect competitive companies are always trying to find ways of lowering the cost of production. And this is the market mechanisms. This is how the market determine prices, determine output, determine resource allocations. So the market, this is the market at its best. So if nobody's making money in an industry like this, let's forget about it. I'm gonna go into another industry, right? So if economic profits are high, that means that consumers are willing to pay more than the opportunity cost. In other words, if companies are making profits, it's because consumers like that product. That's what it means. And if consumers like that product, consumers are willing to pay a higher price, right? So then if companies begin to make products because they are making money, this is a signal to other companies say, we want more, and that's why we're willing to pay a higher price. And let me repeat what this is telling you. In the market, we determine the demand. If there's something that we like, we will be willing to pay a higher price. So then if we are willing to pay a higher price, we are sending a signal to other producers. And the signal we're telling to other producers is, this is something that I like. Make more of it. Make more of it. Make more of it. Right? Because you are making money because I'm willing to pay you a higher price. So the market signals productions, right? And again, profit-seeking producers will always respond for producing more to satisfy consumers' demand. Can you think of a product that is presently in high demand?
Surgical masks.
Hold on for a second, sir. I need to close the door for my washer and dryer room. We have a washer and a dryer that is 20 years old. They don't make them like this anymore. They're almost like tanks. I mean, they work perfectly, but it's like, or like a hurricane, the whole room shakes, but they're working good. So why spend another $1,000 when you have something that works just because of the noise? So we just close the door. Can you still hear it? Sounds like a plane. Boom, 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 boom. No? Okay, well, I'm glad you don't hear it. It's driving me crazy. Was somebody asking me a question?
You said name a product that fits this market.
I didn't hear you.
I said you were talking about naming a product that fits this market, and so I said surgical masks.
Oh, okay. That's a good example. For example, the price of surgical mask before the coronavirus, they used to buy a package and they used to be sold for about 11 cents. That was the average price of one of those disposable masks, about 11 cents. Right? How much does it cost now? Anybody knows? I think the average price is about $1.80, about $1.89. Think about that, about $1.89. You can buy a package of 25 for about $37. That's disposable ones. So in other words, you want to go outside, you put one mask, you spend $2, you come back. Most people don't what? They're not going to throw it away. They're going to try to leave it in the car hanging, and then they're going to put it again. So if that mask has any virus, you're going to put it back on your face. I mean, that's the problem with a high price, right? So if people are willing to pay that, they're telling consumers, make these products, and that's what consumers are actually doing. I think what we need to do, and again, I'm going to go out of the class. I think what we need to do is just like a bubble suit, whole suit, like in the movies, like when you go and visit a foreign, what is it called? A foreign planet. Okay, so a little bubble outfit, and just like the bubble boy, people the little kids that suffer from syndromes that you can get everything. I mean, why not just everybody become a bubble person? Eventually, we will find a solution to our problem, guys. Okay. Again, the market provides efficiency in the allocations of the right output or the right mix. In other words, when we let the market operate by itself, the market is always going to provide those things that people are buying. And people are only buying those things that they believe are giving them, a good return for their buck. In other words, that they're getting the biggest bang for the buck. In other words, where they believe they're going to get the highest margin of utility. And that's the beauty of the market. If economic profits are negative, that simply means that consumers are not willing to pay for that product. And if we're not willing to pay for that product, we are telling producers, stop making that. I don't like it. Stop making that. I don't like it. So then companies respond by producing less of that product. Okay? Can you think of a product that probably consumers simply say, I don't want that product anymore? How about DVD players for your house? DVD players to watch a movie. A couple of years ago, they were very popular. Everybody had DVD players. I mean, I even have DVD players in my car. One of my cars has 2 DVD players independently on each of the back seats. So my kids can watch their own movies. They don't have to share. They don't have to watch the same movie. They have 2 different systems in the seats. Now, why do we need that now? Why do we need DVD players? We don't buy DVD players because now kids are watching the movies on the cell phones, right? And we don't need DVD players in the house because now we are downloading or streaming the movies. right? So again, so then the competitive market is simply telling these DVD players, don't make that anymore. There's no need for that. There's no need for that. Okay. Again, so then profit-seeking producers are always going to respond to the market by producing less to satisfy a wanting consumer demand. Because if there's no desire for my product, I'm not going to make it. And again, this is the allocation efficiency. The industry will end up producing just the right output mix. So now, if competition drives out companies and we end up at zero economic profits, at this point, we are telling the market, this is all we want. We don't want more companies in this industry. So then how are we going to make something is answered by producing at the most efficient method. So just keep this in mind. When a company is making a zero economic profit, it simply means this, that the company is making enough money to pay for all the fixed costs, all the variable costs, all the explicit costs, and also all the implicit costs, which simply means that the owner of a business is making the amount of money that he can make in any other business. In other words, he's doing good. He is okay. You don't have to feel sorry for somebody that is making what? A zero economic profit. Because think about this, you are the owner of a business. Let's say you're the owner of a restaurant and you're making a zero economic profit. That means that you already subtracted your salary from the revenue. You already subtracted the interest that you have to pay for the loan that you borrow to open that business. So in other words, you are breaking even, you are okay. Okay, you are okay. So again, higher prices and profits always serve as a signal, to produce more. Economic profits attract new suppliers. Supply shifts to the right, the price falls, and then the market will stabilize at a lower price. And at the end, we are going to end up with, zero economic profits. And this is the end of the chapter.